Hi guys. So when business operate globally, cultural competence becomes less about learning cultural rules and more about understanding complex social systems. So culture influences how people interpret authority, communication, and even what they consider ethical behavior. So, research from Harvard Business Review shows that many problems in global teams happen because people assume their way of communication or make decision is universal. So, in reality, culture shapes how we interpreted the same situation. So, I experienced this personally after moving from Brazil to Canada. Because in Brazil, professional interaction are usually more relationship orientated and more informal. And here in Canada, I see that communication tends to be more structured and process driven. So at first, I interpreted this difference as emotional distance, but over time, I realized that it reflects a different cultural logic about professionalism and boundaries. So this made me reflect on something important that when we work internationally, our biggest risk is not misunderstanding others, but assuming that our own perspective is neutral or correct. So, from an ethical perspective, this becomes even more complex because global business operate inside a multiple systems, so like economic, social, and historical, and different stakeholders will define good decision differently. For example, a strategy that seems efficient for a company may create negative consequence for a local community or cultural groups. Because of this, cross-cultural leadership requires that what some scholars call curious humility. That means constantly questions or assumptions, listening to stakeholders, and being willing to adjust as we learn more. So navigating global culture landscape is not about eliminate differences. It's about recognize that organization operating plural systems of meaning and ethical leadership require learning how to work responsibly within that complexity. So that's a complex uh, team.